Hello, mighty companions. By the curtain. Today in the Course in Miracles classroom, we have reached lesson 135. If I defend myself, I am attacked. My name's TamZen.
My name's Victoria.
I'm Olivia. Thank you for joining us today.
Yeah, we're all going to read together. It's a very long lesson. And in the edited version that comes from Foundation for Inner Peace, we are on page 252 in the workbook for students. And as I said, we're on lesson 135. If I defend myself, I am attacked. So I'll start. Let's read a paragraph each and see how it goes. Who would defend herself unless she thought she were attacked? That the attack were real and that her own defense could save herself. And herein lies the folly of defense. It gives illusions full reality and then attempts to handle them as real. It adds illusions to illusions, thus making correction doubly difficult. And it is this that we do when we attempt to plan the future, activate the past, or organize the present as we wish. Anything come up there before Victoria reads the second paragraph? You brought something up when we read it to begin with, before we recorded, about adding illusions to illusions.
Yeah, that once we give that thought, that ego thought, a reality, it adds just another layer of illusion. And we were talking about examples to do with insecurity, and once we give that single thought the time of day, it adds that extra illusion that we have
So
to
it makes it
go
doubly, what did he say? Thus making correction doubly difficult. So it's not just difficult, it's doubly difficult.
Right. Because now you have to go through two layers of healing illusion. The fact you're giving it reality and the fact that you're feeling insecure in the first place.
Okay. Paragraph 2.
You operate from the belief you must protect yourself from what is happening because it must contain what threatens you. A sense of threat is an acknowledgement of an inherent weakness, a belief that there is danger which has power to call on you to make appropriate defense. The world is based on this insane belief, and all its structures and all its thoughts and doubts, its penalties and heavy armaments, its legal definitions and its codes, its ethics and its leaders and its gods, all serve but to preserve its sense of threat. For no one walks the world in armature, but must have terror striking at its heart.
That's a good paragraph.
Anything you want to add to it before you read?
No, it's just, I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory in the fact that that is what we're surrounded by, what we've been raised on.
Past belief.
Yeah, and we've just caked on so many layers of disillusion on ourselves. Yeah, pretty mad.
Yeah, we're in state with a lot of fear.
Yeah.
And that's what waking up is then. It's removing those fears, which are blocks to loving each other and remembering who and what we are.
Yeah. To continue that, defense is frightening. It stems from fear, increasing fear as each defense is made. You think it offers safety. yet it speaks of fear made real, and terror justified. It is not strange you do not pause to ask, as you elaborate your plans and make your armor thicker and your locks more tight, what you defend, and how, and against what.
Let us consider first what you defend. It must be something that is very weak and easily assaulted. It must be something made easy prey, unable to protect itself and needing your defense. So let us consider first what you defend, Olivia Rose. You can look at one thing or multiple if a few things come up, but let's talk ourselves about what we personally defend when we feel attacked by someone. What are we defending?
Well, when we read first, I remember first thing coming to mind for me was defending myself and my emotions and justifying that I'm right and they're crazy. That's how I put it earlier. And yeah, this lesson, there's nothing to defend, there truly isn't. And there are many defenses that I have, but I could go on probably a list right now if I wanted to. So, but yeah, that's a big one for me. It's just defending my right to be emotional.
Okay. Victoria.
When I see people looking at my legs, and specifically my birthmark, I get very defensive over my body, and I just feel attacked emotionally, like they are seeing my weakness.
So you're defending your feelings, you're defending your physical body, you're defending the birthmark itself. Okay. So the first thing I'd like to say before I talk about a couple of my defences is that actually when this line first came up, let us consider first what you defend, TamZen. It must be something that is very weak and easily assaulted. The first thing that my ego did with that statement was have me fumble to find what I defend myself about. My ego literally was like, you don't defend yourself. That's what my ego did. So then I was like struggling to find anything that I defend and that I don't feel attacked. Well, we all know that's not true. So I get very defensive in a lot of things. Like Olivia said, there's a long list, but let me just focus on I get very defensive in intimate romantic relationship with my significant other, and I get defensive when they get angry with me. So what am I defending? What am I defending when my masculine is upset with the feminine and he's angry and I'm feeling fearful? So then I have to defend myself by saying things like, I don't do that, that isn't me, I never said that, and project literally that it's all him, which is a defense because I'm feeling attacked. So I'm defending. How do you even sum that up? What am I defending?
Your pride. You mentioned earlier you're defending your past with men and your victimized
Thank you.
state of
This is
mind.
where I wanted to go. So what I've done is bring the past into my present. It's not to do with the future for me in this instant. It's to do with the past, that I felt abused, yelled at, hurt, abandoned, rejected, all of those things in the past by men. So all I'm going to see in my present relationship is the past.
Yeah.
Until I do the work in my mind
because you know you
to
love
heal it.
him, and you know your truth and his truth. But these things come up for us to realize that we're perceiving the past, and it's not real.
So there's a few examples of how we defend ourselves when we feel attacked. And he's saying here, it must be something that is very weak and easily assaulted.
That was great.
It must be something made easy prey, unable to protect itself and needing your defense. What but the body has such frailty that constant care and watchful deep concern are needful to protect its little life. What but the body falters and must fail to serve the daughter of God as worthy host. So, I'm going to pass on to Victoria to go on to paragraph 5, but basically what we're getting into here is that there's absolutely nothing to defend, and when we are defending, that there's something internal that isn't healed. We need to change our perception, because you can't touch this. Can't be attacked. Get off. Is that Bobby Brown?
No,
I'm
Mick Hammer. No.
It's Bobby Brown.
Mick Hammer.
Mike Hammer.
That is not
MC Hammer. Yeah.
Yes, it is MC Hammer. But Dan, my hammer pen. But yeah.
Okay. Got this.
Okay. Yes, it is not the body that can fear, nor be a thing of fear. It has no needs but those which you assign to it. It needs no complicated structures of defense, no health-inducing medicine, no care, and no concern at all. Defend its life, or give it gifts to make it beautiful, or walls to make it safe, and you but say your home is open to the thief of time, corruptible and crumbling. So unsafe, it must be guarded with your very life.
Love that bit.
Super beautiful.
Yeah. Poetic.
Yeah.
He does write beautifully.
Life is better on
Miss
the
Olivia.
So we are on
6.
Okay.
Is not the picture fearful? Can you be at peace with such a concept of your home? Yet what endowed the body with the right to serve you thus accepts your own belief. It is your mind which gave the body all the functions that you see in it, and set its value far beyond a little pile of dust and water. Who would make defense of something that he recognized as this? I remember us talking about that as well, about the fact that we will have these functions in this body and in this life, but we are the ones that put the value of which it is to us upon it. And like, I am in this world, but not of this world. It's the same kind of deal, because we're going to be in it. We're in this body. It's not like we can just isolate ourselves in a room and just be.
Well, we could.
Well, you could,
We
sure.
could, and people have to
And
get
people
to
are happy that
enlightenment,
way.
but you don't have to do it
You
that
don't have
way.
to be that way, and you can enjoy these functions, because as it says in this lesson, it's effortless, and it's our value that we put onto it that destroys us.
Nice. So he goes on to telling us that the body is in need of no defense. This cannot be too often emphasized. It will be strong and healthy. The body will be strong and healthy if the mind does not abuse it by assigning the body roles that it cannot fill,
Yeah.
to purposes beyond the body's scope, and to exalted aims which the body cannot accomplish. Such attempts, ridiculous yet deeply cherished, are the sources for the many mad attacks that you make upon the body. For it seems to fail your hopes, for the body seems to fail your hopes, your needs, your values, and your dreams. Okay.
You could start reading 2 paragraphs if it is a longer lesson.
Okay, after you. We'll do 1 each and then we'll go to 2 each.
The self that needs protection is not real. The body, valueless and hardly worth the least offense, need merely be perceived as quite apart from you, and it becomes a healthy, serviceable instrument through which the mind can operate until its usefulness is over. Who would want to keep it when its usefulness is done?
Defend the body, and you have attacked your mind. I love it. Yeah, that's a great start.
Yeah.
For you have seen in it the faults, the weaknesses, the limits, and the lacks from which you think the body must be saved. You will not see the mind as separate from bodily conditions, and you will impose upon the body all the pain that comes from the conception of the mind as limited and fragile, and apart from other minds and separate from its source.
Okay, so now it's 2 paragraphs each. So on 10.
10.
These are the thoughts that are in need of healing. And the body will respond with health when those thoughts have been corrected and replaced with truth. This is the body's only real defense. Yet, is this where you look for its defense? You offer it protection of a kind from which it gains no benefit at all, but merely adds to your distress of mind. You do not heal, but merely take away the hope of healing. For you fail to see where hope must lie, if it be meaningful. A healed mind does not plan. A healed mind carries out the plans that it receives through listening to wisdom that is not its own. So I'm going to say this again. It's a great line. The healed mind does not plan. The healed mind carries out the plans that it receives through listening to wisdom that is not its own. The healed mind waits until it has been taught what should be done, and then proceeds to do it. The healed mind does not depend upon itself for anything except its adequacy to fulfill the plans assigned to it. The healed mind is secure in certainty that obstacles cannot impede its progress to accomplishment of any goal that serves the greater plan established for the good of everyone. Wow. So the healed mind doesn't plan anything. It waits to hear the voice for God, and it just follows direction. That's pretty awesome.
A healed mind is relieved of the belief that it must plan. Although it cannot know the outcome which is best, the means by which it is achieved, nor how to recognize the problem that the plan is made to solve. It must misuse the body in its plans until it recognizes this is so. But when it has accepted this is true, then is it healed and lets the body go. Enslavement of the body to the plans the unhealed mind sets up to save itself must make the body sick. It is not free to be the means of helping in a plan which far exceeds its own protection, and which needs its service for a little while. In this capacity is health assured, for everything the mind employs for this will function flawlessly, and with the strength that it has been given, it cannot fail.
It is perhaps not easy to perceive the self-initiated plans or the self-defenses, with the purpose all of them were made to realize. They are the means by which a frightened mind would undertake its own protection at the cost of truth. This is not difficult to realize in some forms, which these self-deceptions take, where the denial of reality is very obvious. Yet planning is not often recognized as a defense.
No, until we read this, we had no clue that planning was a defense.
I knew that expectations were
a defense.
Were negative, because that's what fails us, is our expectation. We're expecting this to happen, and it doesn't, so we feel let down. So I always found it expectation was a defense. So yes, this brought a new layer of what
we do to defend.
Yes, because I've always just seen it as fault of expectation.
Okay.
The mind engaged in planning for itself is occupied in setting up control of future happenings. It does not think that it will be provided for unless it makes its own provisions. Time becomes a future emphasis, to be controlled by learning and experience obtained from past events and previous beliefs. It overlooks the present, for it rests on the idea that the past is taught enough to let the mind direct its future course.
What's the light change? That was nice. Okay. So that makes a lot of sense to me.
Yeah.
That it is an ego technique, another ego technique, to keep us out of the present moment, and so that we stay asleep, that we don't wake up, planning for the future, all those plans. It's another defense against the truth. The mind that plans is thus refusing to allow for change. What the mind has learned before becomes the basis for its future goals. The mind's past experience directs the mind's choice of what will happen, and it does not see that here and now is everything it needs to guarantee a future quite unlike the past, without a continuity of any old ideas and sick beliefs. Anticipation plays no part at all, for present confidence directs the way. Defenses are the plans that you undertake to make against the truth. Defenses' aim is to select what you approve and disregard what you consider incompatible with your beliefs of your reality. Yet what remains is meaningless indeed. For it is your reality that is the threat which your defenses would attack, obscure, and take apart and crucify. That was 2, wasn't it?
I think so.
Mm-hmm.
Did you answer really?
What could?
What could you not accept if you but knew that everything that happens, all events, past, present, and to come, are gently planned by one whose only purpose is your good? Perhaps you have misunderstood his plan, for he would never offer pain to you.
No.
No.
But your defenses did not let you see his loving blessing shine in every step you ever took. While you made plans for death, he led you gently to eternal life. Your present trust in him is the defense that promises a future, undisturbed, without a trace of sorrow, and with joy that constantly increases, as this life becomes a holy instant, set in time, but heeding only immortality. Let no defenses but your present trust direct the future. Let no defenses but your present trust direct the future. And this life becomes a meaningful encounter with the truth that only your defenses would conceal.
Without defenses, you become a light which heaven gratefully acknowledges to be its own, and it will lead you on in ways appointed for your happiness according to the ancient plan, begun when time was born. Your followers will join their light with yours, and it will be increased until the world is lighted up with joy, and gladly will our brothers lay aside their cumbersome defenses, which availed them nothing and could only terrify. We will anticipate the time today with present confidence, for this is part of what was planned for us. We will be sure that everything we need is given us for our accomplishment of this today. We make no plans for how it will be done, but realize that our defenselessness is all that is required for the truth to dawn upon our minds with certainty.
For 15 minutes, twice today, we rest from senseless planning and from every thought that blocks the truth from entering our minds. Today, we will receive instead of plan, that we may give instead of organize. And we are given truly, as we say together, if I defend myself, I am attacked. But in defenselessness, I will be strong, and I will learn what my defenses hide. Nothing but that. If there are plans to make, you will be told of them. They may not be the plans you thought were needed, nor indeed the answers to the problems which you thought confronted you. But they are answers to another kind of question, which remains unanswered yet, in need of answering, until the answer comes to you at last. I've got another one, do I? No. Am I done?
I think so. All your defenses have been aimed at not receiving what you will receive today. And in the light and joy of simple trust, you will but wonder why you ever thought that you must have defended from release. Heaven asks nothing. It is hell that makes extravagant demands for sacrifice. You give up nothing in these times today when, undefended, you present yourself to your Creator as you really are. He has remembered you. Today we will remember Him, for this is Easter time and your salvation. And you rise again from what was seeming death and hopelessness. Now is the light of hope reborn in you, for now you come without defense, to learn the part for you within the plan of God. What little plans or magical beliefs can still have value when you have received your function from the voice for God Himself?
Try not to shape this day as you believe would benefit you most, for you cannot conceive of all the happiness that comes to you without your planning. Learn today, and all the world will take this giant stride and celebrate your Easter time with you. Throughout the day, as foolish little things appear to raise defensiveness in you and tempt you to engage in weaving plans, remind yourself this is a special day for learning, and acknowledge it with this.
This is my Easter time, and I would keep it holy. I will not defend myself, because the Son and Daughter of God needs no defense against the truth of her or his reality.
Beautiful.
Yeah. So, that was a really long lesson, literally 3.5 pages. No,
1, 2,
4.5.
3, 4, 4.5.
Lesson 135. If I defend myself, I am attacked. So we have nothing to defend. Great news. We might want to put some practice in. Enjoy your lesson. We love you. See you on the next one.
Don't defend yourself.